Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Well, thank you all for joining me here today under this oak tree here in my woods at my place. I'm Miracle Willie, forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, and we're ready for lesson 195. We're reading from the Foundation 2007 edition, Foundation for Inner Peace version, here on Saturday, July the 13th of 2024. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Been out cutting logs and a little bit sweaty. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Gratitude is a lesson hard to learn for those who look upon the world amiss. The most they can do is see themselves as better off than others, and they try to be content because another seems to suffer more than they. How pitiful and depreciating are such thoughts! For who has cause for thanks while others have less cause? And who could suffer less because he sees another suffer more? Your gratitude is due to him alone, who made all cause of sorrow disappear throughout the world. It is insane to offer thanks because of suffering, but it is equally insane to fail in gratitude to one who offers you the certain means whereby all pain is healed, and suffering replaced with laughter and with happiness. Nor could the even partly sane refuse to take the steps which he directs, and follow in the way he sets before them, to escape a prison that they thought contained no door to the deliverance they now perceive. Your brother is your, in quotes, enemy, because you see in him the rival for your peace, a plunderer who takes his joy from you and leaves you nothing but a black despair so bitter and relentless that there is no hope remaining. Now is vengeance all there is to wish for. Now can you but try to bring him down to lie in death with you, as useless as yourself, as little left within his grasping fingers as in yours. You do not offer God your gratitude because your brother is more slave than you, nor could you sanely be enraged if he seems freer. Love makes no comparisons, and gratitude can only be sincere if it be joined to love. We offer thanks to God our Father that in us all things will find their freedom. It will never be that some are loosed while others still are bound. For who can bargain in the name of love? Therefore give thanks, but in sincerity, and let your gratitude make room for all who will escape with you, the sick, the weak, the needy and afraid, those who mourn a seeming loss or feel apparent pain, who suffer cold or hunger, or who walk the way of hatred and the path of death. All these go with you. Let us not compare ourselves with them, for thus we split them off from our awareness of the unity we share with them, as they must share with us. Reminds me when I was younger, I had my grandfather actually was saying, see that man without any legs? Well, be thankful that you got your legs. Well, he meant the right thing, but what he didn't understand is that is me over there without the legs. And that's what Jesus is trying to get us to see. It's insane to give thanks because someone else suffers more than you. We're all in this together. If they're suffering, let's relieve their suffering. Let's help them. Paragraph 6. We thank our Father for one thing alone, that we are separate from no living thing, and therefore one with Him, And we rejoice that no exceptions ever can be made which would reduce our wholeness, nor impair or change our function to complete the one who is himself completion. We give thanks for every living thing, for otherwise we offer thanks for nothing, and we fail to recognize the gifts of God to us. Then let our brothers lean their tired heads against our shoulders as they rest a while. We offer thanks for them. For if we can direct them so the peace that we would find, for if we can direct them to the peace that we would find, the way is opening at last to us. An ancient door is swinging free again. A long-forgotten word re-echoes in our memory and gathers clarity as we are willing once again to hear. Walk then in gratitude, the way of love. For hatred is forgotten when we lay comparisons aside. What more remains as obstacles to peace? The fear of God is now undone at last, and we forgive without comparing. Thus we cannot choose to overlook some things, and yet retain some other things still locked away as sins. When your forgiveness is complete, you will have total gratitude, for you will see that everything has earned the right to love by being loving, even as yourself. Today we learn to think of gratitude in place of anger, malice, and revenge. Well, let's use that for a quick restorative. Instead of using anger, let's use gratitude. Whenever you have anger, let that be a little warning light that, or comes on your mental dashboard that says, oh, practice gratitude, so you don't fall into further anger, malice, or revenge. We have been given everything. If we refuse to recognize it, we are not entitled, therefore, to our bitterness and to a self-perception which regards us in a place of merciless pursuit, where we are badgered ceaselessly and pushed about without a thought or care for us or for our future. Gratitude becomes the single thought we substitute for these insane perceptions. God has cared for us and calls us son. Can there be more than this? Our gratitude will pave the way to Him and shorten our learning time by more than you could ever dream of. Gratitude goes hand in hand with love, and where one is, the other must be found. For gratitude is but an aspect of the love which is the source of all creation. God gives thanks to you, His Son, for being what you are, His own completion and the source of love, along with Him. Your gratitude to Him is one with His to you, for love can walk no road except the way to gratitude, and thus we go, who walk the way to God. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Okay, well, let's be sure to give thanks every hour of the day. You know, He wants us to, every hour of the day, to find something to give thanks for, to take a moment to pause and make sure that we're at peace and that we're filled with cheer, with joy. Ask God for guidance, what to do in the next hour. And then, and say your lesson today. Today, love is the way I walk in gratitude. And find something to be grateful for. And then be sure to hang out with that idea for a little longer, morning and evening. You know, try for the first 5 minutes when you wake up. Try to just stay in that kind of sleepy state, but wake, and see where it takes you. Tell yourself, love is the way I walk in gratitude. And then do that again before you go to bed at night. Spend at least 5 minutes, longer if you can. All right? Okay, let's take a look in our text reading. And we're ready to start chapter 21. Reason and perception. And while you're turning there, let's see what's going on around the world. Bald is in day. Barbershop Music Appreciation Day. Barbershop Quartets. Beans and Franks Day. Carver Day. Now, actually, Carver Day is actually on January the 1st, I think. It might be January the 5th. I think I saw something to say. But it's also, I think they put Carver Day because the National Monument close to where I live here, over in Diamond, Missouri, has the Carver Days on this today, Saturday the 13th. They kind of have an open house and a display of George Washington Carver's contributions to the world, which, you know, I really like what he did. He wouldn't take any money for all of his inventions and his ideas about agriculture and other things, because he said, well, they were given to me freely and I need to give it freely, otherwise it'll quit coming to me. Embrace your geekness day. Yeah, if you got some geekness in you, embrace it, huh? I guess we all have a little bit of geekness in us. Fool's Paradise Day. That was a movie in 2023, a satire comedy. Go West Day. Go West, young man. Talking about the westward expansion from the East Coast to the West Coast and colonizing or settling the Americas. Grange Day, which began in 1867, which was a program to advance agriculture. Gruntled Workers Day. If you're a gruntled workers, use your Course in Miracles to instead of having gruntledness, anger, upsetness, what are we going to do? We're going to practice gratitude. Nathan Bedford Forrest Day. He was a Tennessee Confederate general and a KKK leader. National Beef Tallow Day, French Fries Day, Nitrogen Ice Cream Day. To get you going. World Cup Soccer Day. And out of edible landscaping, we've got another passion fruit, and it's called the Riversong passion fruit, which is a Passiflora incarnata. And it says of the Riversong is a self-fertile, dependable bearing passion vine found in the wild by David Rain, zone 6 through 8. Okay, so there's your Riversong passion flower. Okay, now let's go back and look at our lesson, let's say our lesson again. Love is the way I walk in thankfulness, in appreciation, in gratitude. Okay, chapter 21, Introduction, Reason and Perception. Introduction. Projection makes perception. The world you see is what you gave it, nothing more than that. But though it is no more than that, it is not less. Therefore, to you it is important. It is the witness to your state of mind, the outside picture of an inward condition. As a man thinketh, so does he perceive. Therefore, seek not to change the world, but choose to change your mind about the world. Perception is a result and not a cause. And that is why order of difficulty and miracles is meaningless. Everything looked upon with vision is healed and holy. Nothing perceived without it means anything. And where there is no meaning, there is chaos. Okay, so he's trying to get us to see that we make the world that we see outside because it's a picture of what we've been thinking inside. So let's change what we think inside if we don't like what we see outside. Damnation is your judgment on yourself, and this you will project upon the world. See it as damned, and all you see is what you did to hurt the Son of God. If you behold disaster and catastrophe, you tried to crucify him. If you see holiness and hope, you joined the will of God to set him free. There is no choice that lies between these two decisions. Wow. Either we're going to see holiness and hope, or we're going to see disaster and catastrophe. Either the ego's world of guilt or the Holy Spirit's world of innocence. There is no choice that lies between these two decisions, and you will see the witnesses to the choice you made and learn from this to recognize which one you chose. The world you see but shows you how much joy you have allowed yourself to see in you, and to accept as yours. And if this is its meaning, then the power to give it joy must lie within you. And section 1, the forgotten song. Never forget the world the sightless see must be imagined, for what it really looks like is unknown to them. They must infer what could be seen from evidence forever indirect, and reconstruct their references as they stumble and fall because of what they did not recognize, or walk unharmed through open doorways that they thought were closed. And so it is with you. You do not see. Your cues for inference are wrong, and so you stumble and fall down upon the stones you did not recognize, but fail to be aware you can go through the doors you thought were closed, but which stand open before unseeing eyes, waiting to welcome you. Paragraph 2. How foolish is it to attempt to judge the world? How foolish is it to attempt to judge what could be seen instead? It is not necessary to imagine what the world must look like. It must be seen before you recognize it for what it is. You can be shown which doors are open, and you can see where safety lies and which way leads to darkness, which to light. Judgment will always give you false directions, but vision shows you where to go. Why should you guess? Judgment always leads in the wrong way, false direction. But vision, when we let go of judgment and we get the eyes of Christ vision, we see through the eyes of gratitude, then we always know what to do. We see the door and walk through it easily. There is no need to learn through pain, and gentle lessons are acquired joyously and are remembered gladly. I've heard that saying, no pain, no gain. Well, he's saying there's actually a better way to learn. Yes, you can learn and gain with pain, but that's not the preferable way, and it's certainly not the way of the kingdom of heaven, because in heaven we don't have pain. So let's don't wait, and let's don't keep having pain and think we have to go through pain to get to heaven or get to joy. To go through pain, to get to painlessness, well, if you have to do it, well, then do it. But let's let that be the last useless journey you'd make anymore. Quit doing that. Let's start living this way. There is no need to learn through pain, and gentle lessons are acquired joyously and are remembered gladly. What gives you happiness you want to learn and not forget. It is not this you would deny. Your question is whether the means by which this course is learned will bring you the joy it promises. If you believed it would, the learning of it would be no problem. If you believed that this course would bring you joy, you'd have no trouble practicing it. You still just don't really believe it, do you? If you believed it would, the learning of it would be no problem. You are not a happy learner yet because you still remain uncertain that vision gives you more than judgment does, and you have learned that both you cannot have. The blind become accustomed to their world by their adjustments to it. They think they know their way about in it. They learned it not through joyous lessons, but through the stern necessity of limits they believed they could not overcome. And still believing this, they hold those lessons dear and cling to them because they cannot see. They do not understand the lessons keep them blind. This they do not believe. And so they keep the world they learned to, in quote, see in their imagination, believing that their choice is that or nothing. They hate the world they learned through pain, and everything they think is in it serves to remind them that they are incomplete and bitterly deprived. Thus they define their life and where they live, adjusting to it as they think they must, afraid to lose the little that they have. And so it is with all who see the body as all they have and all their brothers have. They try to reach each other and they fail and fail again. And they adjust to loneliness, believing that to keep the body is to save the little that they have. Listen and try to think if you remember what we will speak of now. Listen and try to think if you remember what we will speak of now. Listen. Perhaps you catch a hint of an ancient state not quite forgotten, dim, perhaps, and yet not altogether unfamiliar, like a song whose name is long forgotten, and the circumstances in which you heard completely unremembered. Not the whole song has stayed with you, but just a little wisp of melody, attached not to a person or a place or anything particular, but you remember from just this little part how lovely was the song, how wonderful the setting where you heard it, and how you loved those who were there and listened with you. 7. The notes are nothing, yet they have kept them with you. Yet you have kept them with you. The notes are nothing, yet you have kept them with you, not for themselves, but as a soft reminder of what would make you weep if you remembered how dear it was to you. You could remember, yet you are afraid, believing you would lose the world you learned since then. And yet you know that nothing in the world you learned is half so dear as this. Listen, and see if you remember an ancient song you knew so long ago, and held more dear than any melody you taught yourself to cherish since. You want a good reason to sit down quietly and meditate a couple times a day, so that you can remember this forgotten song that you knew, that you've forgotten. Beyond the body, beyond the sun and stars, past everything you see and yet somehow familiar, is an arc of golden light that stretches as you look into a great and shining circle. And all the circle fills with light before your eyes. The edges of the circle disappear, and what is in it is no longer contained at all. The light expands and covers everything, extending to infinity, forever shining, and with no break or limit anywhere. Within it, everything is joined in perfect continuity, nor is it possible to imagine that anything could be outside, for there is nowhere that this light is not. This is the vision of the Son of God, whom you know well. Here is the sight of him who knows his Father. Here is the memory of what you are, a part of this, with all of it within, and joined to all as surely as all is joined in you. Accept the vision that can show you this and not the body. You know the ancient song, and you know it well. Nothing will ever be as dear to you as is this ancient hymn of love the Son of God sings to his Father still. And the last paragraph, 10. And now the blind can see, for that same song they sing in honor of their Creator gives praise to them as well. The blindness that they made will not withstand the memory of this song, and they will look upon the vision of the Son of God, remembering who he is they sing of. What is a miracle but this remembering? And who is there in whom the memory lies not? The light in one awakens it in all, and when you see it in your brother, you are remembering it for everyone. Wow, isn't that just beautiful? Okay, well, let's just do our lesson today so we can remember that forgotten song. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. 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 Today we learn to think of gratitude in place of anger, malice and revenge. Our gratitude will pave the way to God and shorten our learning time by more than you could ever dream of. Gratitude goes hand in hand, hand in hand with love. And where one is, the other must be found. For love can walk no road except the way of gratitude. And thus we go who walk the way to God. For love can walk no road except the way of gratitude. And thus we go who walk the way to God. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk, walk in gratitude. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. And our word for peace is out of the Law people of Zambia, and it's Chibanda, if I'm pronouncing that right. Chibanda, peace be with you, in the law language of Zambia. Chibanda. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Be sure if the little warning light in the mind starts blinking and you notice that you're angry or you're holding a revenge or you're just upset about something or even just a mere little frown, resort to gratitude. Find something to be thankful about so that love is the way I walk in gratitude. So where love is, there you'll find appreciation, gratitude. Love is the way I walk in gratitude. Chibanda.